Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Hafizi bin Ahmad. So today I will present about the database. So firstly, I will present about the PHP. Uh, the con it contains a profile and index PHP. So for the profile, uh, it will take from PHP 8.0 Apache and it will run get update and everything get upgrade. It will run Docker PHP ext install and MySQL and it will expose by so next I present about the index. So the host is DB. Uh, it means service name from Docker Compose YML. The user, I name it as user, and the DB user two. So connection new MySQL the content tree of term host user and DB. If connection connect error, it will the output is connection fail and otherwise is successfully connect to MySQL. Then lastly for the Docker Compose, so the version is 3.3. The context is PHP. The name of file is Docker file. The container name is PHP 80 and it will depend on DB. The volume is from PHP var www.html. The port is 8000 and for the DB, the container name is MySQL 8. The image is MySQL 8.0. The command default authentication plugin MySQL native password. The start is always and for the environment MySQL root password is root. MySQL database is user and MySQL user is user. And the port is 6033. So I will open it terminal. So sleep is sudo docker compose up. So after it compute it and open this terminal. So I sudo and the name of it. So this is the root in the container of MySQL 8. Then uh, one few and the password is also root. So it is in the MySQL. Next is uh, use our name of database. Database change. So from the server and client, it will compute and write to the database. So if the client, if the user log in from the database, so it will want the server. Then the server is the server will want the database, and it will add the points. So show the example. So this is the example. So for the user Affendy, the point is 10 and the date time is 1 December 2021, and the time is 10:31 am. For Aidil, the point is 10, also 10. The date and time is 1 December 2021 at 10:35 am. And for the Hafizi, the point is 10. The date and time is 1 December 2021 at 10:36 am. That's all for me.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Firdaus bin Ishaq. Now metric 2018-68-33-72. I number 16 release name. Here I want to present the ITT440 group project. Okay. So here we have to create a Docker in the Linux OS. Okay, so the objective. Okay, my exercise is container type 2 server. Create at least 2 container of server, one for PC, one for C, and another one for Python. Both C and Python can add replace record in database from previous container. You can use either TCP or UDP socket server. Port number is different from each container. Please use number more than 1024. Every socket server will update on different user in database table. The record must update every 30 seconds and points must increase every time updated. The date time timestamp must show the latest update. Okay, I go to the Linux program. Okay, here I have get into the Linux program. So what you can see here is the Docker file, the index file where it goes to the HTML progress, and this is the Python coding. So we go first on the Docker files here. Wait for it. Okay, so in the Docker file, here is the command that we use to execute the file. So what I want to tell you is there's some error in doing this server actually, because I can't find it to execute it on the main to connect it to the database and the client. So base here is the from Python letters in order to launch. Okay, add Python server. So this here is for adding a server that made it from the Python coding to the Docker file that is what we call a container. So and next is add the index HTML, adding it into the server also in the Docker file as a container. Okay, so we close it and we look at the Python program, Python coding. Okay, here on the Python coding, we used to import the server HTTP, where we use the UDP server, and then we import the socket server. So this handler of the handler equal to HTTP server simple HTTP request handler, T handler. So this actually run the program where this Python server run, and then when client wants to get in the server, we use the socket server that we call as 1234. Okay, when the client want to get into the server, use this ports. Okay, so that's only the way we can connect the server with the client, that the client brings up the database inside. Okay, okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aidil Hanif, number 4 on the list, and I will present to you my part, which is client and Dockerfile. Okay, so in client.python, firstly, import URL lib.request. This is because we should import of Python system library, but in the system, the library is already installed with Python. Then fp equal to url lib.request.url open http localhost 1234. Localhost, this is the variable contain the request. Then 1234 is the server port. So encoded content fp.read and decoded content encoded.decode utf8. So encoded is to correspond to the server response encode index.html. Then decoded content correspond to the server response decodes based what we want to display. Then we should print the decoded content that is from index.html, and fp.close is to close the server connection. So for the Docker file, the coding from Python latest and add client.py client is the same thing. Then the server Docker file, we import the client.py in client folder. So the work dir client is the command to change the base directory of our image. So we can define that client is our base directory. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go, and we open in new terminal. We put sudo docker compose up, and I put my password. Okay, after we open the terminal, we put the command sudo docker compose up, then it will show the path that the server is start, then the client is start, that is will combine, and the output is docker compose is magic. Thank you. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum.